Hello! I hope you guys are having a beautiful, wonderful, amazing day. My name is Emily, and today I'm going to be showing you how I do my brows. As you have probably noticed, I just got my hair done, so there's still a little bit of like hair dye left on my scalp, and I need to take a shower tonight and scrub the rest of that off, but that's okay. We're just gonna pretend that it's not there, and I'm gonna be showing you guys how I do my brows. Complete disclosure, I do need to tweeze these bad boys. Tweeze, pluck, I don't know the proper terminology. That's okay. But let's go ahead and get into this. I just use a couple things to do my brows. I use a brow pencil, and the one that I'm using right here is Limelight by Alcone, and this is in the shade medium. I like this shade. There is light, medium, and dark in this pencil, and I like medium because it's more of a warmer tone. Dark is, well, darker, but it's a bit more cooler than I like in particular. I just like to have a bit more of a warmer tone on my face because I feel like it brings more warmth. So, warm tones bring warmth. But I love this because it's got a spoolie on one side, and then on the other side it's got the little brow pencil part. What I like to do is grab a tiny little mirror because I like to kind of look a bit closer to my face, and I don't like to get all up in, you know, my mirror and just like I just like to have a little bit of extra space, and so I'm using a little tiny mirror. I got this forever ago at Forever 21, just a cute little cat mirror. I don't know, it's adorable. Okay,
it's adorable.
So what I'm gonna do is I have got my spoolie out, and I've got the brow pencil part out, and I'm gonna brush the hairs up first on the brow that I'm starting on. And a little tip that you can do to help find where your brow should start, arch, and end is line up your brow pencil or wherever you're using with the outside corner of your nose and then the inner corner of your eye. Go straight up and basically just put a mark right there. And so you can kind of see there's a tiny little dot. It's enough for me to see, but not enough that it's gonna like ruin my brows. But that tells me this is where the inner portion of my brow should stop. And then you do a very similar thing to find your arch. You go to the outer corner of your nose, and then you basically need to look straight on into your mirror, honestly, and line it up over your pupil. Hold on. Pretty much over your pupil. And then make another little dot, and that little dot, it's up there this time, but that's about where your arch should be. So this is just where the curve should kind of curve, kind of like center point of the curve, if that makes sense. Then the last portion I'll show you is the outer corner of your nose again, outer corner of your eye. Keep going and make a little dot. All right, bam. And as you can tell, my eyebrows are pretty well shaped already, so that's literally where all of these ended and started, is right where they should be. But that's something you can do if you're new to doing your brows, just to kind of help give you a guide. And then what you're gonna do is I always make sure my brows are brushed up all the way, and then I fill in. I start from like this mid portion here. I don't know why, it's just something I've always done. A lot of people start here and start going, but I don't know. I just prefer to start in the mid portion and do the arch first and then everything else. It just seems to work better for me. But what I find works best as well is not to sit there and try to do one line. Some people can do that, but the majority of us, that's not a talent that we possess. Maybe one day we will have that, but as of right now, that's not something that I know I can do. So I like to make small little movements along this lower part of my brow. Raise my eyebrows a little bit to start filling in where I want this shape to be. All right, so once you do that, I went a little bit too far right there. Just wipe that away. I will then go and do the front part of my brow, and I'm going to leave it alone for a second and then brush everything down, because we've now done the bottom portion of the brow, and that shows you very nicely what your arch should kind of look like, and then it has everything started for you, which is really nice. So now we are going to do the same thing but on the top. Another little trick is to look at your brow, and do you see where your brow hairs start, like where they come out of? That's about where you should focus on drawing your actual brow line, because that's pretty much your natural brow shape. That's why I brush down here, because you can't always see it when they're up like this. You see the top, and sometimes you can, if you follow those lines, you go a bit too far out and you can't figure out why your brow maybe looks a little blocky or just looks a little, you know, odd. And so I find when you brush down and focus on using the brow hairs you already have, you have better success in good looking brows. And so that's what I'm gonna do. And again, I just do small little strokes. I normally do not go as far in on the top portion as I do on the bottom portion here, because I like for it to look a bit more, you know, ombre effect, I guess. After you've drawn that top line, I just start very lightly filling in the rest of the brow. And I'm not trying to make this super dark and concentrated. I'm basically just trying to make my brows look more full and beautiful. That is the only goal here. So then I'll brush up and start filling in here as well. Get a little bit more brow pencil out. This room is so cold right now. We are like in a cold front. I'm from Kentucky and we're in a cold front right now. It went from like 60 degrees 2 days ago to 19 degrees the other night. And I think it's only like 25 outside right now. So I'm not used to this cold yet. I am not ready. It's like, I don't like the summer. I don't really like winter. Fall is my time. But when you live in Kentucky, you basically get to experience fall for like 3 days. So I miss fall. I want fall. It's my love. It's my pride and joy, and I don't get to experience it very often. It's fine. Okay, so what I'm gonna do now, because I filled in a lot of that. Actually, I'm just kidding. I completely forgot about the upper front portion of the brow. It's fine. Is I'm gonna take the spoolie and brush up. So I drew a very straight line here in the front, and I want to brush that out a little bit to blend it, to make it look softer. Then I'm gonna brush all this over just to make sure it looks nice and blended. I'm gonna make sure I blend out where I had that dot earlier for the end of my brow, so that it's not super noticeable and like, why she got dots all over her face, you know? And I'm gonna look at it again, make sure there's nothing that I want to add on to, which I do want to add on a little bit here on the arch, which I am like really noticing too. A couple hairs that I need to take care of and get out of my life, you know? So we've got the shape basically down, and the next part is one of my favorite parts, which is cleaning it up. And so I am going to use this. This has my foundation in it, and it's got my concealer. I'm using concealer number 0 right here. I know my palette's kind of dirty. Forgive me. I didn't clean it before this. Should I have? Yes. Did I? No. Your girl's a busy mom and did not get a chance to make this all pretty. This is my daily use thing, okay? But I'm going to go ahead and grab a concealer brush and pick up a small amount of concealer. I don't need a lot, but I do put some on each side. And you can tell this brush, I hope you can see, this brush kind of tapers and has a point, which makes it better for cleaning things up and being more precise. And so what I do is I start on the under part of my brow, and I try to relax my face as best as I can, which can be hard when you do this. And so if you have trouble with that too, try looking down into your mirror, because most of the time we raise our eyebrows to make more space. But if you look down, I mean, watch my eyelid right now. When I look down, I'm creating more space that way as well. And so if you have a little mirror and you can look down into it, that will help a ton. And so I'm saying all this and I'm still gonna raise my eyebrow probably. I just very gingerly go across the bottom portion of my brow and just start leaning up. The purpose of this is to kind of create some negative space to make your brow pop a bit more, but it also allows you to clean up any portions where maybe you went a little too hard on the brow liner and maybe you didn't do your line as good as you want, or you had a little extra something somewhere that you want to take out. And so this really helps with that, and you really do not need a lot. Like, you can tell I didn't put a lot on, but it's enough to clean up that brow. And so I'll grab a little bit more and bring it down here, and then here in a minute I'm going to blend that out. But now I'm going to go to the top portion of my brow and just do the same thing. I cross my arms really weird when I do it when I'm holding the small mirror, but doing the same thing here. And when I do this, I prefer to start a bit further out so that I can go in. Because if you look now, this is a bit higher than the actual brow shape is, but I feel like it gives me a bit more leeway and a bit more room just in case I go too close to it, you know? If you start further out, you're kind of taking that opportunity to accidentally go over too much of it away. Right now, the front portion of my brow is a bit thicker than I normally like it, and so something you can do Let's bring the concealer a bit up on this portion to make it kind of have the illusion that there's not as much hair there. All right, so that just made that line a lot straighter. I'm gonna brush through this again to get the hairs where they belong, because I've got like really long brow hairs that like to misbehave. And then the last step that I do for brows is look around on my desk and find the brush that I want. There it is. This is just a large shadow brush. It's clean, there's nothing on it. I like to keep an extra one of these in my bag that I really don't do anything with other than blend out concealer. So that's all I'm doing right now. Very light movements with blending this concealer out, so when I put my foundation on or the rest of my makeup, it doesn't look like I just have this random portion of really light product surrounding my eyebrows. It helps it look a bit more natural and a bit more like it belongs. So you can look now. This is the difference between my eyebrow that is done and my eyebrow that isn't done. One final thing you can do if you want to add a little extra something to it is take a brow gel. You can get one that has no pigment, or you can get one that has pigment, but what it's gonna do is help hold these hairs in place so that they don't move around on you. And if you're like me and you have really long brow hairs that just seriously have a mind of their own, you're gonna want this, because it's basically like hairspray for your brows, but it's not like sticky and gross and weird, you know? So this is the difference between a brow that's done and a brow that is not done. It makes a huge difference. It frames your face so much. Brows can like really bring a look together. Just like applying fake lashes or something like that, brows make such a difference, and they are so pretty and they're fun to do and find your shape. A little tip that I have, if you don't know what your brow shape is, if you struggle with just doing them on the daily and you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, I do it every single day and it just never looks right to me, go to a brow artist. Go to someone that professionally waxes and trims and tweezes and tints brows. Someone who does that as a profession. Go to them, tell them what you want, show them examples, ask them what they think would look best on your face. Have them do that. It will make your life so much easier, especially if you get a tint. Then you start to fill that in and you follow the lines that are basically already there for you. It gives you a guide. And so as you're learning and doing this more, it becomes more muscle memory to the point where you can just start filling in your brows and you automatically know, like, oh, when I get right here, I'm gonna go ahead and start arching this down. It makes such a difference. It's so amazing, so helpful. Very worth it, especially if it's something that you're struggling with. I am going to go ahead and do my other brow to show you what it looks like when they are both done. And I will see you back here in like 2 seconds. Okay friends, so we are back and my brows are done. Something that is important to keep in mind as well is brows are sisters, not twins. Everybody says that, but we all still try to make them twins anyway. So I just want you to know it's okay if there's little minute differences. Most people are not going to be sitting there and getting super close to your face and trying to tear apart the way your brows look. Most people are not going to do that. If they are going to do that, that's on them. That's their own thing, okay? Like, I'm just here to uplift people and be like, girl, your brows look good today, okay? We're all doing our best out here. We are all trying, we are all learning, and brows are hard, okay? So give yourself credit. Recognize that you are doing the best you can. You are learning, you are constantly evolving, and live your best brow life, okay? So that's it. That's all I got for you right now. I just wanted to make a super short little video about brows and how I do them, because this is one of my most asked questions. And actually, before I hop off here, hold on. I just noticed this was going a bit more in than I wanted it to, so I'm just gonna take my concealer and just take away that little bottom part. And do you see how sharp that made that look? Like, bam! Bam! We did it. All right, so thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Please don't forget to like and comment if you like this and subscribe. Have an awesome one, guys. Bye.